programs in the world today that no user could possibly study and master all the source code for the program she uses, nor personally write all the changes she wants. That's more work than one human being can do. So the only way we can fully have control of our computing is to do it working together, collaborating. Wow, they're all leaving. What did I say? So, we need to work together. For that, we need freedom 3, the freedom to distribute copies of your modified versions when you wish. With this freedom, if several users want to work together on changing a free program, they can, because whatever changes each one makes, that one can distribute to the others. And then when they're satisfied, they can distribute it to the public. They can publish their version. And that way we all get to use it without writing it ourselves. Even the users that don't know how to program, they can run this improved version. And if it's clearly superior, they will probably get the improved version when they upgrade their systems, and they won't even have to think about it. Without freedom 3, each one of us would be free to write that change. But what a waste it would be, writing the same change millions of times, and the non-programmers would be left out completely. This is not good enough, so freedom 3 is essential. Thus, I've now demonstrated that these 4 freedoms are essential. And the result is democracy. Because a free program develops democratically under the control of its users. Every user is free to participate as much as she wishes in society's decision about the future of the program, which is simply the sum total of the decisions made by all the users of what to do with it. The result is that with a free program, the users have control both individually and collectively. In any group of users that use the same version, they collectively have control. But also, each user has control individually if you want to change the program or pay somebody else to change it for you if you don't know how, or convince your cousin, the programmer, to change it for you, then you get individual control as well. So we have both individual control and collective control of the program. With software, there are just 2 possibilities. Either the users control the program or the program controls the users. In order for the users to control the program, they need the 4 freedoms. So free software is the software that the users control. But if the users don't have enough freedom to have effective control over this program, then the program controls the users. And the developer controls the program. That's why the non-free program generates a system of unjust power. It's an instrument of power. It's a yoke. It shouldn't exist. And it's up to us to get rid of it. Society has a choice to make. On one hand, there is individual freedom, social solidarity, and democracy. On the other hand, there's the dictatorship of the developer who subjugates the users and uses that power to push them around, exploit them, and mistreat them. Society must reject proprietary software and choose free software. The ultimate goal of the free software movement is the liberation of cyberspace, including all of its inhabitants. We have a lot of work before we achieve that. But you can escape now from proprietary software. We invite you to come live with us in the free world that we have built. Free yourself, and then help us free everyone else. I launched the free software movement in 1983. I wanted to make it possible to use computers and have freedom, which was impossible at the time, because the computer won't do anything without an operating system installed. And all the operating systems for modern computers in 1983 were proprietary. So if you bought a new computer, in order to make it useful, do anything, you had to have a proprietary operating system installed, and thus you lost your freedom. How could I change that? I was one man, without much money, without much fame outside of the users of the editor Emacs, and few people agreed with me. So I didn't think that a classical political movement protesting in the streets and sending letters to officials would achieve much. And besides, I didn't know how to do that. I had no experience with it. I was not a political organizer. I was an operating system developer. But as an operating system developer, there was another way I could achieve this goal. All I had to do was write an operating system. Then I, as the author, could legally make it free, and then everybody would be able to use computers in freedom by running my system. In other words, I could give people an escape route to freedom by doing technical work in my own field. I was aware of the injustice of proprietary software, which most people did not recognize as an injustice. I had the skills necessary to create this escape route, or try at least, and it looked like nobody else would do it if not me. That meant I had been elected by circumstances to do this work. It was my duty. It's as if you see somebody drowning and you know how to swim and there's no one else around and it's not Bush, then you have a moral duty to save this person. Well, perhaps that statement is too strong. We might be able to identify some other people like Cheney and Obama who encourage violations of human rights, about whom we should not affirm a duty to save them. However, I don't need to resolve those questions because I don't know how to swim. However, in the real case in my life, the work to be done was not swimming, it was writing lots of code. And I knew how to do that. So I decided to develop a free software operating system, meaning every piece would be free software, every line, no exceptions. Then I decided to recruit other people to help to finish it sooner. Then I decided to make it a Unix-like operating system so it would have the technical advantages of Unix. And so that Unix users, there were many Unix users in 1983 already, would be able to easily switch because they could use my system just the same way they use Unix. They wouldn't have to learn anything new. And then I gave it a name which is a joke. The name of the system is GNU, G-N-U. And this is a recursive acronym. It stands for GNU's Not Unix. G-N-U, GNU's Not Unix. And by the way, that translates fine into Portuguese also. Now, programmers love jokes that involve recursion, but in order for it to be a joke, it needs another meaning. Why GNU and not ANU, SNU, UNU? Because those are not words. GNU is a word. It has another meaning. It's the name of this animal that lives in Africa. So, once I make another meaning for it, it's a joke. But it's even better. You see, GNU is the most humor-charged word in the English language, used in countless wordplays, because according to the dictionary, the G is silent and it's pronounced new. So every time you want to write the word new, which is normally spelled N-E-W, you can write it G-N-U and you've got a joke. Perhaps not a very good joke, but there are lots of them. So we have been conditioned to associate this word with laughter. When people see the word GNU, they're almost ready to laugh right there. Thus, given a specific, meaningful reason to use this as the name of a programming project, I couldn't resist. But when it's the name of this operating system, please do not follow the dictionary. Please pronounce it GNU. Don't pronounce it new. If you say the new operating system, you'll get people confused. In fact, you'll be saying something false. We've been working on this system for 28 years and using it for 20 years, so it's not new anymore. But it is GNU, and it will always be GNU. So please pronounce it carefully. There is another pronunciation error that you should take pains to avoid, which sounds like Linux. Strange as it may seem, millions of people use the GNU system and call it Linux, and they don't know it's the GNU system. They are really misled. How did this happen? In